Get going. Good evening, everyone. This is the Raleigh Board of Selectmen meeting for May 20th, 2019. This meeting is being audio and video recorded. Would you first join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Well, first I'd like to publicly welcome and recognize our newest member.
Thank you.
Deanna Peabody-Ziv.
Thank you.
Congratulations and welcome on board.
Thank you.
I would say my condolences, but that would be overly negative, I think. I don't want to be negative. No. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Huh? Congratulations, Dave. Welcome on board.
Yeah, thank you. I got my seat back, that's all. Thank you, Dave.
Okay, first order of business is the reorganization of the board. The first item is the chairman.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that you become chairman for another year.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second that.
Any opposed? Any discussion, further discussion?
No, I think it's, you've done a nice job, and I think you deserve a second year.
Well, thank you. I would like to do another year.
I'll
So.
vote for you.
Okay. So I better just get to the vote then before I lose it.
Before we
Right?
change our mind.
Okay, the motion to appoint me as chairman for another year has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Vice chairman.
I'll make a motion to appoint Joe Perry as vice chair again.
I'll second that motion. Motion
Thank
to appoint vice chairman Joe Perry has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Make a motion to appoint Bob Snow as clerk.
I'll second.
Motion to appoint Bob Snow as clerk has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The
I'll
ayes have it. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob, yeah.
Okay, we have a revocation hearing on a used car dealer's license at 7:15. Public comment will extend from 7:05 to 7:10. We have an appointment at 7:30 with YMCA Director Chris Bevilacqua to provide an update on the YMCA Rowley campus programs, but he has informed us that he won't be able to make it tonight, so that will be canceled. So until the revocation hearing, I will first go to general business. General business number one is a request from the Raleigh Veterans Association to hold the annual Memorial Day Parade and memorial services on May 27, 2019. The parade will start from the RVA parking lot at 1:30?
Yeah, 1:30 it starts, but the marchers should get there around 1 o'clock.
Okay. From there, they will follow the parade route to the cemetery, where a Memorial Day ceremony will be held. The board needs to vote to authorize the parade. Can I have a motion to authorize the parade?
I'll give it a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion to authorize the parade has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Just keep in mind for the people, just for the people's interest, the cemetery workers have been busy cutting grass. It should be looking really good with all the rain we've had. It certainly is tough keeping up with the grass cutting for sure, but cemetery is going to be looking nice. As I understand that the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts will be putting the flags on the graves, veterans' graves, Friday and Saturday and Sunday, so they should be over there. And if you notice, we've been doing work on the Star Garden over there.
Yep.
It's a little behind the schedule because of all the rainy weather and wet weather.
Yeah.
But it should be pretty, if it isn't totally complete, it should be pretty well
Yeah.
done. And that's donated to the town, to the cemetery department by the Great Marsh Garden Club, which is disbanded and had to spend some money, and they donated it to have that permanently repaired. So
Yeah, it's going to look nice.
it should really look
Yeah.
nice. So I thank the Garden Club and for their donation, and look forward to seeing it when it's completed.
Dave, how many veterans are in the cemetery, do we know?
You know, Bob, when I gave the speech a few years back, I had
Yeah.
somewhat of a count, but at this point I can't remember how many it was.
Okay.
But there's a lot of, when you go over there's a lot of flags in that cemetery. And there's some real old ones. You go over the section over here by where the Star Garden is, that old section is, if you can read the gravestones, there's soldiers going back to the Revolution and stuff in there. So
We got believe we're going back.
Ezekiel Rogers, our founder, is buried over here in that cemetery.
We have back to King's Philip's War
Yeah.
that are buried
So they
here.
go way, way
Yeah.
back.
Hmm.
It's amazing.
That is-
I think Sue
It is
Hazen
amazing.
might have a list she keeps. She's kind of a cemetery historian.
Oh, really?
And of course, Bob Murray knew an awful lot too. With Bob,
Right.
at this point, is not feeling well, but he was always very good at remembering.
The stone markers only came in 1688. Up until then, it was all wooden markers. So a lot of the people that are buried here, like Samuel Appleton from Appleton Farms, he's buried
We
here.
see that too.
So he was part of the church,
Right.
part of the Congregational Church.
Yeah, a lot of these spots over here that don't have markers probably have, caskets, and not they didn't use caskets, I don't think, in those days, but they have bodies in them going
Yeah.
way back. It's interesting if you got time to go through, and it's difficult to read because the limestone is, a lot of it's washed away, but a lot of interesting stories over there.
Sure.
A lot of history.
Okay, moving on to new business. I'm going to skip over new business number 1 because it's related to the license revocation hearing. Moving on to new business number 2 is to review the Historic District Commission notice on proposed fence installation. The Raleigh Historic District Commission is going to hold a hearing regarding a fence installation between 11 Main Street and 107 Main Street. The application is from Robert, I'm sorry, I can't read this. Breaker. Property is located at 111 Main Street. Any discussion or comment?
No.
Okay, moving on to new business number 3, which is discuss and approve the Merrimack Valley Planning Commission contract for assistance in preparing the town's updated stormwater management program in accordance with the requirements of the National Pollution Discharge Elimination System. One of the town's requirements under the National Pollution Discharge Elimination System is to prepare a stormwater management program plan. The Merrimack Valley Planning Commission can do this work for the town. We have a letter to that effect from Brent and the contract. The cost of the contract is $15,000, and we have the funds set aside in FY19, in the FY19 stormwater budget to cover this expense. The work will need to be done now and completed and submitted to the EPA by June 30th, 2019.
You have a motion to sign that agreement?
I'll second.
The motion to sign the agreement has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. New business number 4 is to discuss the annual Independence Day celebration. Is the board interested in holding this event this year? I think it is. The Saturday before the 4th of July holiday is June 29. The event includes a parade leaving from the Veterans Association parking lot on Bradford Street to the town common, followed by races on the town common. We have served hot dogs and slush in the past. We were thinking that it may be easier to have bagels and/or donuts and possibly slush. There have been electrical issues with the preparation of the hot dogs. Having prepared food such as donuts and bagels down on these cuts down on these issues. We serve the food starting 8:45 a.m. Any discussion?
We always have a lot of hot dogs left over,
Right.
you know, so I think it's probably a good idea. And people have come up to me and said, why don't we have donuts or
Breakfast
munchkins or...
Plus, it's early in the morning.
It's
Yeah.
early in the morning, yeah. So,
Early for hot
I mean, I'm not adverse to eating
Yeah.
hot dogs at 8:45, but
neither. Chinese food, hot dogs, yeah.
it might be better, more widely appreciated.
Yeah, and I think, well, the only thing, we need to get a big coffee urn. Because once you start coffee, you have a lot of coffee drinkers in Raleigh, I know that.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Probably get one from the COA, I think might have a coffee urn.
Got a big coffee, I mean...
Or maybe the Congregational Church probably does too,
We
the
need a
Catholic Church.
good-sized one.
Yeah, need like a 50 cupper anyway, which is,
Anyways, yeah,
yeah, maybe 2.
yeah. So,
But the slush is a winner, I think. I mean,
oh yeah, the
The kids
slush.
love the slush.
If we don't show up
The
with
kids love
slush,
it.
I'm not going.
Last year was brutally hot.
Yes, it was, yeah.
The slush was melted. By the
Right.
time we got to the end of it, it
Remember
was
that.
more of a Slurpee
I
than it
think
was
what
a
we did
slush.
last year, we had 5 barrels of slush last year. And I think we went through every one of them. It was all.
It was hot,
Yeah.
I remember.
Bernie, what flavor you want? You can hand up.
Has the electrical problems at the Rotunda been resolved?
Yeah, they basically have. I think the problem became when we were plugging too many things into too many the hot dog cookers take a lot of power. And putting the hot dog cookers plus the sound, everything put too much.
We're gonna need the same
Drawer on
for coffee urn, you know.
Right, so
to-
promising coffee and not delivering is another
Water
issue.
and juice.
Yeah,
Coffee would be nice.
you best deliver coffee in slush, so.
Or you're in charge of the coffee, Bob. Oh, you're the slush
It's a
man.
I'm
box
the
of
slush
Joe.
guy.
Right, you could buy those big jugs of
Box
Dunkin'
of Joe.
Donut coffee.
There's no
I mean, we
electro-
could buy that.
Oh, we could do that,
I
yeah.
think that
That might make it
makes
easier.
sense.
I think they're about 10 to a box, 10 cups,
10
Okay.
cups to a box?
Well, we could
something
only
like that.
Wow.
And then if
serve
we-
it until it runs out, I mean.
Yeah.
Well, like, we can touch base with Dunkin' Donuts, to make sure we have enough boxes to bring over first thing in the morning.
Right.
And then we can do a bunch of munchkins and things like that. I don't think, whole donuts would, I think the kids,
Yeah.
They provide cups and cream too.
Yeah, and Ms. Ivanello was telling us you can actually get even larger size if you reserve it.
Oh,
They have the big plastic containers that are insulated.
yeah.
Because I've
Oh,
alright.
reserved them before when I've had big events down in my place.
okay.
You can get like a 30 cup and a 40 cup if you let them know
Oh.
in advance.
Okay.
And they'll get them from, the guy that owns these stores is local, and he owns
Yeah.
pretty much all these in the North Shore.
That's a good
So you
idea.
could probably get, 3 or 4 of those, and they would be easy to handle, and they would hold the heat better than the paper ones you talked
Yeah,
about, which are
yeah.
good, but they don't last as long as this.
I'll go over and touch
Yeah, we get
base.
like 50 cups, I would think that would be,
Yeah,
that would be, should be
Serve it
plenty,
till it
because if
runs
it's a
out.
hot day,
Yeah, that's true.
and
Oh.
you're only having parents too, the kids aren't drinking the coffee with it,
Right.
Let the parents know.
What day are we planning that for?
What'd you
Well,
say?
that was a suggestion.
The last day, the last Saturday in June, I think.
Last Saturday in June?
It's the Saturday before the 4th of July, which falls on a Thursday, so it'd be that Saturday, which
Okay.
is sort of the kickoff of that week.
We better check with
Now,
Tim.
the important thing, does everybody remember which slush was the one that really went?
They all went, doesn't matter.
Okay.
It surprised me that the lemon goes pretty good, which
I think pink is the big one.
Watermelon, yeah, watermelon was
There
really
you
nice.
go. Thank you.
Yep.
Check, make sure we check with Tim Southall that he can run the games.
Yeah,
I'll volunteer my wife to help him run the games. She'll be thrilled with that.
I have been trying to reach him, but he just hasn't got back
Yeah,
to me.
yeah. He's usually around. He likes doing it, so he enjoys it.
I'll reach
And
out.
also, if we get anybody that can help run the games,
If anybody is at home and wishes to partake,
we always use,
we can always use help.
but come to us ahead of time, because I think we have to check
Yeah, we have to,
we have to do a query check on
Cory check on.
anybody working the game, so.
That's right.
Come to, tell the office ahead of time, but we could always use help with doing those kinds of things and lugging tables and doing other stuff, so.
Okay, so, do we need a motion to hold this event on June 29th?
Yeah, I'll give you that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Historic
Gotta give her a chance to get in here.
The motion to hold the event on June 29th has been made and seconded by Selectwoman Zip. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, public comment period is over. And I'll take up the license revocation
Well,
hearing.
Before you give up the public comment, can I just
Sure.
make the comment that as of tomorrow morning, we'll be starting construction on the ramp, the replacement ramp at the annex. So during the next 2 weeks, it'll be somewhat limited on handicapped access. But all the arrangements have been made with the various offices and with the Council on Aging's holding some events at the Congregational Church, and they're able to hold some events there, so just keep in mind that hopefully it's gonna be done in 2 weeks. Completed in 2 weeks, so.
Okay, we have a revocation hearing concerning Edward Dello Iacano, DBA Atlantic Auto Solutions, 185 Newburyport Turnpike, Raleigh Class 2 Auto Dealer's License. The reasons for this revocation hearing are that the licensee, Mr. Iacano, has vacated the premises based on information that's available to us, all information. Regulatory compliance agent Frank Marchigiani has visited the site and has confirmed that he has vacated the premises, although I noted today that there were still some automobiles. There are some automobiles out
Those are
there.
mine.
Those are yours, not
Those are
Mr. Iacano's. Okay, could you identify yourself?
Oh, Frank Ivanello.
Thanks. And we sent a letter to Mr. Iacano on May 14, 2019, inquiring as to what his intentions were with respect to the license and the premises, and he did not respond to that. And then we sent a letter to Mr. Iacano on May 6, saying that we're proposing to revoke his license, and he has not responded to that, did he?
No.
We haven't had, so we haven't heard anything from Mr. Iacano.
No.
And he's not here today, or his representative is not here. Does the board have any questions or comments?
I have none.
Okay.
So, can you just clarify the timeline? It sounded like May 14th,
May 14?
you
Well,
sent what letter? And then May 6th, you sent what letter?
May 14, the town administrator sent him a letter, basically that we were
Mr.
we were
Chair.
holding a hearing on the revocation of his license. The hearing will take place on May 20th. And then, before that, on May 6th, there was a letter from the Assistant Town Administrator to Mr. Iacano saying essentially that the majority of the vehicles had been removed from the premises, and a note was posted on the door to the office that stated that the business was closed due to the owner's illness. And the letter said this is the first letter, since you are no longer operating your business at this location, the Board of Selectmen requests that you return the Class 2 dealer's license issued to Atlantic Auto Solutions, which expires on January 1, 2020.
And there were 2 site visits that the town
Right.
conducted, and, prior to that, and some consultation with Raleigh Police, and we're notified by the property owner, the landlord, Mr. Ivanello. This is the status of that.
So we haven't had any response, so I think basically we can conclude that he's vacated the premises and there's nothing further to comment about, and that the board should proceed to revoke his license. But I'll take a motion to that effect.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
The motion to revoke his license has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, I'll now move on back to new business number 1, which is a request to increase the car limit on the Class 2 auto dealer's license held by James S. Price, Inc., DBA Car Lines for 185 Newburyport Turnpike. Frank Ivanella, the owner at Car Lines at 185 Newburyport Turnpike, is requesting to increase the car limit on his license. He has informed us that his tenant, Atlantic Auto Solutions, has moved off the premises. His application is attached, including a filing fee, check for the filing fee. Anything you want to say? You don't have to, it's up to you.
No, I try to be transparent through the whole process,
Right.
and as I've said in previous meetings I had here, that I'm sorry the way things turned out. It didn't involve me, but when I am the guy in charge, I feel embarrassed. And that's why I acted as quickly as I did when I saw everything going south. got the place cleaned up. You see I've got that gigantic dumpster there, continuing to fill it. I mean, these guys, they amaze me. With pack rats, I mean, they save everything, you know, and I don't want that. I had my landscaper in there last week. We cleaned out the beds and we put nice chips.
Yeah, it looks nice.
He was able to save the flowers because they were basically putting the cars over the flowers. If you saw my plan, my parking plan, I think there's a little copy, should be with my application. You know, the cars, where I have the cars parked now, are gonna be cars that are in process. That's why those cars are not for sale yet. They have to be, you know, road tested and put in the registry book, which we just got, you know, and put the warranty stickers on the rear window. And, you know, then the cars that will be for sale will be on the, you know, the frontage on 133 and on 1. And I have two fellows there that are working for me. I've known these guys a long time. One is a dad and his son. His son is a young fellow, you know, similar to my son's age. So I've known these guys a long time. They grew up in Topsfield. I'm comfortable with them, but everything I'm going to control. They're not going to be free agents anymore. And we're going to make it work, and I hope I'm not in here again. Okay, that's my goal. Because I really don't like this whole ordeal that the town has been through, and it's embarrassing to me, honestly. You know, but I think, you know, it's another page. I've been around a long time, and I did invest a lot of money in that property, as you fellows know, and ladies. And you know, I'm going to make it work this time because I have these people that will run it for me. And I've explained, you know, it's a lame excuse, but you know, I'm involved in so many other things that I've never put the proper effort myself in trying to manage that. Now I am, and hopefully the results will speak for themselves.
Now, you have a license right now that's
Yes.
for 10 cars.
12.
12. And so you're going to increase that, you want us to increase it to 40.
42. Yes.
Which
And
was the original
yeah,
number.
yeah. And I have 10 vehicles there now. And I may go to 42, I might go to 32, I might go to 20, but, you know, but we'll be open and we'll be, you know, ready to do business.
Okay, good. So in all other respects, the license remains the same?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So can I have a motion to authorize an increase in his license to 42 cars?
Motion, Mr. Chairman?
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, thank you and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank
good
you.
luck. Yeah, very nice.
Good luck. Thank you.
Okay, old business number 1 is to discuss I thought it would be a good idea just to briefly go through the results of the referendum questions that were on the last election ballot. We have 3 questions. Question 1 asked the voters if the position of the treasurer collector should be appointed rather than elected. The town said yes by a vote of 397 to 308. In addition to town meeting, we voted to make that position appointed. So from here on in, the position will be appointed. The current elected treasurer, Karen Summit, will serve out a term which runs for another 3 years. And during this time, the Personnel Department will work on a job description for this position. Near the end of her elected term, the position will be posted, and the position will be subsequently appointed by the Board of Selectmen. So I was happy to see the town supporting us on that important vote, because I think it was important. Any further discussion?
No, I just think, Mr. Chairman, that's a critically important to the town, because like we said prior to the election, that to be elected, you only have to be a registered voter to run for the position with no qualifications. And the salary structure and the importance of that position to the town and the running of the town, fiscal situation of the town, is critical that we have an appointed person. And I'm not, Karen Summit's more than qualified. I mean,
Right.
we're not, there's nothing against her personally.
Right.
It's that as we move into the future, we need to be able to appoint someone who's qualified. And way in the past, we have had unqualified people in that position that have created some problems. So I just want to thank the voters for doing that, because it's critically important.
Okay, thank you. Question 2, ask the voters if the name of the Board of Selectmen should be changed to Select Board or some other gender-neutral name. This question was non-binding. The vote was 423 no to 289 yes, so it was substantially defeated by my count, a vote of 134 votes. So I guess we will not be proceeding further on that issue. Question 3, ask the voters if the town should ban or limit single-use plastic bags, checkout bags by retail establishments. This was another non-binding question. This went down by a total of 4 votes,
Close.
very close. The vote was 359 to 355. So we certainly, in my view, don't have a mandate to proceed further on that, because elections have consequences, and this one lost. That's my opinion of the matter.
I think, well, my personal opinion is that it's an important issue that we should, hopefully the state is going to do something statewide.
Right.
And that, but I would like to at least look into it and see what we can do to request that more people use something other than the plastic bags. That they are an issue of pollution, and that we can't, we should do what we can to
Through
resolve
voluntary
that.
measures, you mean?
Yes, yes.
As a matter of fact, there is a bill called an Act Reducing Plastic Bag Pollution. There was in the state legislature that was a subject of a public hearing on April 2 of the Joint Committee on the Environment, Natural Resources, and Agriculture. The bill is H771 and Senate Bill 462. So residents who are interested in banning plastic bags can contact their representatives on this matter, Senator Bruce Tarr and Representative Brad Hill.
You know, as you go around from town to town, you may be just one town in the North Shore here that will have plastic bags. But I see many people, because of that, many people bring bags into Market Basket, and I see a lot of them going out, and not that many plastic bags I see in use. I know there are, but I mean, we have a lot of problems with plastic. We have wrapping for meats and everything else.
Yeah.
You think of plastic does have a place. We do need. It would be nice if we had plastic bags that were somewhat biodegradable. That didn't stay here for about 3,000 or 4,000 years, and
Yeah.
dissolved after about But we don't have that yet. But the technology is not there. It's very expensive for stores to have paper bags. It's like 3 or 4 times the cost for paper bags. So there's costs for the store owners that have paper bags. But such as we'll be discussing this for a
A lot
while.
of this
Probably.
is an educational issue too, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
And surrounding town, a lot of the surrounding towns have the bans, and one of the issues seems to be that, I know I had seen an article where Gloucester had one type of plastic bag ban, Beverly had another one. So Gloucester was sending all their banned bags to Beverly, because Beverly's plastic ban didn't include the type that they were using. But, I mean, that's why I'd prefer to see a statewide.
I would too.
Yeah.
I would
So
too.
everybody has the same.
They all- right.
Well, a few years ago, the Board of Selectmen here, we had a program about batteries and that got stopped. And then a lot of people partook in that particular, bringing their batteries in and exchanging. Maybe we could, at the end of our announcements, remind people, take your personal bag to the store this week when you do your shopping. And maybe with that is a way for the board to be green, so we can remind them every week in announcements, don't forget to take your personal shopping bag into the store.
Mhm.
It's a little thing that we can do,
Sure.
I think the student who submitted this request, it might be nice if he would, come back in and then have a little educational campaign in the next few months to let people know that the benefits, whatever, of changing the bags. And certainly keep an open mind on it at this point.
Right.
And like I said, hopefully the state will do it, but, It'll be an argument over what type of plastic. Do we ban styrofoam too? That's another issue that's huge
Right.
related to this whole thing, so,
I was down this past winter, I went to Aruba. They banned all plastic. And it's like you get a sandwich, it's in a cardboard box, everything. So you couldn't get a straw.
You couldn't get a plastic straw,
Yeah.
right?
So,
Yep.
Well-
little sippy drinks, a little tough, with the umbrellas.
That's awesome.
Okay. Any further
It was a
discussion?
crisis.
Poor Bob. Bertie.
I'm opposed to a ban on plastic bags, but I was disappointed that the vote did not get through, largely because I think this and other related topics deserve some rigorous discussion and debate, and not kind of an assumption because everybody thinks plastic bags are bad, and that's the image that immediately jumps to mind, that therefore they are bad, because the obvious issue is, well, what's the alternative? Paper bags are consume 4 times the amount of energy to produce and produce far more CO2 than plastic bags do. So you really need to understand what the dimensions of the issue are and not kind of have an emotional response to these things. And the contrast is we have a problem with nips and flasks that scatter all along our highway, and that is not a problem just of trash. It is a problem with trash, but these are obviously people who are drinking and driving, and that's a big issue. And if we've got a limited amount of bandwidth and energy to put into the public forum, then I would much prefer at the end of each selectmen's meeting that somebody says, don't drink and drive and don't throw your nips and flasks on the side of the street. Because that's a much bigger, a much more concrete problem than plastic bags, because in policing the area in front of my house, I found no plastic bags and 126
Yeah, the nips are
and
all over the
flasks.
place, I have to say.
So I think the selectmen kind of should take a step back and kind of think of the bigger picture, and involving the school and the student who had this as an issue in some more general approach to the handling of trash and the consequences of trash makes sense to me, particularly given that we are going to be looking and investing in a recycling facility. So that seems like a vehicle to kind of piggyback on that initiative and start a more general discussion.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I guess we'll move on. Old business number 2 is an update on the intersection of Route 1 and Central and Glen Streets. Bob attended a Metropolitan Planning Organization meeting last week and received an update on the intersection of Route 1 and Central and Glen Street. Bob, you can...
Well, I'm sorry, it's this Wednesday.
Oh.
It's the MPO meeting.
Oh, okay.
So I will give an update 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, sounds good. Old business number 3 is an update on the Pine Grove School project. The Massachusetts Department of Transportation just sent us the permit for the work on Main Street, approving the work on Main Street in front of the site work in front of the Pine Grove School. Larry Berger is not able to attend tonight's meeting. He was planning to discuss a contract amendment with Doran Whittier for this work, and in fact, Joe and I are meeting with all relevant parties on this tomorrow morning. So I'm sure we'll have an update
Right.
at our next meeting. Anything you want to add to that, Jeff?
Yes, I did receive an email. I'm on the email list from the MSBA, and I got the email from the Mass Department of Transportation about the Route 1A access to the school, and that they had approved the plan. And so we're looking at the plans from Doran Whittier about what the access would look like.
Okay, thank you. All right, so next we have a bunch of reappointments. These are not new appointments, they're reappointments for FY '20. I'm gonna go through them category by category just to speed things along. Yes, Bernie?
There's item 4 on the top of that page, update on the fire station.
Okay, I missed that.
Oh, yeah.
Update on the fire station and police station project, anything?
Yeah,
that-
basically, the project is in its final stages of the checklist of, little things that gotta be done at the end of a project. We're still waiting for the 2 signs. There'll be a sign in front of a lighted sign in front, not an internal lit sign, but an external lit sign in front of the police department and fire departments indicating freestanding. Those aren't in yet. We got a few other minor things, but basically, everything's moved along pretty well. Get a lot of inquiries, we're tentatively, and we can confirm it at the next meeting, but tentatively, we're looking at June 22nd on a Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for an open house for both buildings, and like a ceremony for ribbon cutting or whatever, so, but it's tentative at this point, and once we get it cast in stone, we'll certainly announce it and put it on the website, so. But everything's going along real well up there. We're real proud of the way the facility's looking. And I want to commend the architect, Corral, and our OPM, and Jason Sperry, who's been the on-site contract foreman up there, is bent over backwards to do whatever. He's just, whatever you need, whatever questions we have for him, whatever situations we have, yep, I'll take care of it, I'll do it, and he does it. I mean, they've been really great in responding to whatever the problems are, whatever the issues might be, and there really haven't been any major ones. But everybody involved in the project, I think, needs to be commended for the work they did, and it just looks great.
The other day when we were down there, was the gentleman with the level, he was going around checking all the walkways?
He's got the beard, the long beard.
Oh, okay, it was another gentleman.
He's kind of always on the run from one place to another, but the 2 chiefs, anytime, because the 2 chiefs would, they would get involved on a daily basis down there. And anytime they had a question, a problem, a concern, or whatever, they could go to him, and he would respond. And if it's a further question, he'd get a hold of the office here, and go to the architect or the ROPM and coordinate the response. So it really worked out well. I was quite impressed with the way the whole project went. So.
Yeah, and this would be a good point to pass on something that was said at the last construction meeting for the Pine Grove School. Tom Hood of W.T. Rich, the construction manager for that project, just mentioned during the meeting that he had visited the fire station and that he was really impressed. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
I mean, he was really impressed with the way it was constructed, and he said that the town got a great deal for the money. Those are his words. So,
Yeah, he really did.
I mean, that was unsolicited, and
Yeah.
He obviously knows what he's talking about.
And I think the styling, the architectural style of the buildings fits in with Raleigh.
It looks very good.
And they're good size, both of them are good sized facilities, but keeping in mind that they're both built for 30 to 40 years of growth, and I'm sure we'll fill them as time goes by. And it's just the pat on the back for the townspeople for voting for those. I mean, it wasn't the Board of Selectmen, we recommended it, but the townspeople voted at the town meeting and at the election to support those, and we're gonna get hit on our tax bills, obviously, but I think in the long run, it's well worth the expense, and they'll pay off in the future years. So they're really nice facilities for both departments to work out of, and we should be proud of them.
Dave, you just said that the other day when I was talking to you, somebody from another town came over and took a look at it because they're in the process of building?
Well, you got Merrimack is building a police station, Newbury's building a police station. And it's amazing how many cities and towns throughout the Commonwealth are building police and/or fire stations. In fact, Corral, our architect, and Estania, who built the projects, they built the police station in Salisbury.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of specialize in those types of projects. So you're getting people who know what they're doing, both in design and in construction. So that really helps out in terms of efficiencies and making the right recommendations. So it really worked out well all around.
And it's on a budget.
Yeah, it is good under budget.
Yep.
So.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Levitt is here to discuss the Memorial Day Parade. He's here a little late. He's the gentleman in the last row.
Oh, okay. Hi.
I'd like
How
to
you
speak
doing?
to you.
Good. You want to come up front?
I just, they threw a couple of questions on me tonight, and I wanted to get approval before we did anything else. They'd like to bring old Nancy out, if possible. It won't be fired off, nobody's firing any cannons or anything this year. And, but they wanted your permission, or your, what's the word I wanted, overseeing it, whether it would work or not. That's about it, actually. It's just, they want to get that in the parade if possible.
Yeah, our goal, I think, I talked to Debbie about it, we were gonna let it go by this year, and then try to, as of next year, make it a regular, because we need to set up a trailer for it, and, you know, who's gonna tow it, and so on and so forth, and
Right.
we kinda talked about starting next year, putting that in, as being part of the parade
Okay,
every year.
all right, so we're not gonna use it
We're
this
not
year?
gonna use it this year unless the board decides they wanna.
And it can't be fired anyways because of
No.
Massachusetts
Oh, I know.
laws.
No, there's no fire.
They changed the law and it can,
Yeah, but when we were in, Bob, it was a different story.
Yeah. We won't go
well,
there.
we didn't use that.
Yeah, no.
But no, we definitely want to bring that back in.
Okay.
And the other thing is, like, this kind of creeped up on us quick this year, too.
Yeah.
Because I checked with the RVA on it and
Yeah.
to make sure we had, in fact, Bob, you were going to check with the Veterans Officer for the district. Is she going to be able to come?
I believe she's gonna come.
Okay.
Okay,
Karen, is her name Karen?
Karen Tyler.
Karen, right.
So, but I think in looking at next year, we might want to start a little bit earlier and see if we can expand it a little bit
Right,
to make it
right.
a little more organized in terms of who we invite. And
Mhm.
we're always encouraging veterans, and
Yeah,
it's us old veterans,
We're
that
getting
are all that's
fewer
left.
and
We
fewer
can't get
in
the younger
between,
veterans
right.
to join us.
okay, all right, I just, that's about it then, I guess.
Okay.
I appreciate it. We'll see you in Memorial
See
Day.
you Monday.
Just for your info, Dave, the Star Garden over there,
I see that one.
which
when I
is,
came in.
the renovations of that is being donated by the Rowley Garden Club.
Really?
Salt Marsh Garden Club.
Garden Club, right.
It's been disbanded and they needed to spend the money, so.
Oh, yeah.
We were hoping it would have been done by now, but the weather has played havoc with both the contractor and the ability to get the stuff done over
Okay.
there. They're putting a brick patio around it and really gonna fix it up nice.
All right,
So to have a permanent look to it, so
that's great.
it's really nice. And that's added because that was originally donated by the VFW
Right.
and I think the garden club's worked on it every year. And
Yeah,
there's some
that's
benches
what
over
started
there and some
flowers.
plaques and stuff like that, so it's
Right.
it's a really nice thing. This year it's gonna still be a little rough because the grass seed isn't gonna have time to sprout, but
Oh, yeah.
once again, by next year, I think it'll really look nice.
Flower right out.
Yeah.
Sure, great. Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much.
All right, thank you for coming in.
Ernie, you have something?
Yeah, I've taken a quick tour around the fire station, and I was very impressed by the training room, which looks like it has a capacity for about 40 plus
The what?
people. The training room.
Right, does.
Yeah, each station has a training room that'll hold, I think the police holds 32, and the fire department holds 40.
Right, that's
And
what
the idea of that is, number one, we got 20, people got to understand is 25, about 25 call firefighters will be reappointed to that on the list, but there's 25 plus the full-time. So you got 30 anyway, for training sessions, assuming they all show up on the same night, so you need a facility like that. And the other thing they want to do, they want to use that facility for is to regional training. Because the facility's big enough so that normally if we train somewhere else, we have to pay a fee
Right.
to train. If we hold the training, we don't pay the fee and everybody else kind of kicks in towards that, so it's.
Right, what triggered my question was at the last planning board meeting, currently most of them being held at the library, and the library facility is great, but you have to lay out and then put away at the end of that meeting, whereas the fire station training room, there's no need to do that, plus the large screen and the electronics are there, and those are more or less essential to the planning board, especially. Other boards may also need it on occasion. So my question then is, what thought has been given to date about sharing that facility with other town department.
We're holding off on that, and if we need it, it's there, but one of the big issues over there is gonna be parking for people coming to the meetings, because we can't fill the fire station and police station lots with outside cars, so we're gonna have to make arrangements to park in the back, in the field area where the ball games parking is. But that presents another issue of lighting and a walkway that'll go up to the back of the station. It's in the long-range plans, but at this point, we're discouraging it only because, mainly the parking issue. The chief is more than happy to make the facility available, but we have to make sure that we have the support of parking and lighting, and so all we need to do is have someone go out and trip on a hole because there wasn't lighting, and we'll be facing a lawsuit, so we have to be very careful. And we can't have all the spaces taken up for a meeting and then have the fire alarm go off and there's 12 or 14 call firemen coming with no place to park to take the engine out. So those are the kind of issues we will be working on and been planning for, so.
Yeah, we have a lot of issues to work through on the opening up of both buildings. And the priority will be that the police station will be scheduling their own, and the fire station will be scheduling their own. And then if available, then we'll make it available to other areas in the town.
And the police station is a security issue too.
Yeah.
We're not encouraging to use that at all,
No.
unless we have to, obviously. But I mean, the fire department is less of a security issue, but the parking is a big problem. So, you know, it's designed for use by the firemen, and luckily we have the ball field parking in the back there, but we've got to make that usable so that we can and have a walkway up to the fire department so that the people can get there.
Right, because that training room is actually secured from the rest of the fire station.
Yeah, they are. It's all the ability. They have the ability to lock it all off, and so people don't wander through the building or anything like that. So it's a nice facility. It's a beautiful facility, and it's got. You're able to do computerization. Each training desk has the ability to plug in laptops and things like that. So both buildings are state of the art. I mean, Raleigh's finally into the 21st century. We've caught up in fact, we've caught up and maybe gone ahead of most other departments around, so we should be proud of it, and it'll function.
Make a great selectman's office.
Yeah, with a lockup there next door, that's what we need.
Okay, thank you. All right, so moving on to reappointments for FY20. The first one is for Kirk Baker to serve as limited lighting bylaw enforcement agent for a one-year term.
Give me that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. The next one is for Charles Costello to be reappointed to the Board of Health for a 3-year term. He's currently the chairman of the Board of Health, and he's been the chairman for a long time. He sent us a letter. I am interested in continuing to serve as a volunteer Board of Health member for another term. I have been a member of the Board of Health for many years. The challenges associated with protecting the public health are interesting and rewarding. I have enjoyed working with the other members and the town of Rowley. Together with the other Board of Health members, I have assisted in the implementation of programs that enrich the town and benefit its citizens. I look forward to continuing to provide the town excellent volunteer services as a member of the Board of Health.
Give me that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion, second? Any second?
Second.
Motion to reappoint Mr. Costello has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. And that's, again, for a 3-year term. The rest of the reappointments, I believe, are all for a 1-year term. So, again, I'm going to take them by category, just to save a little time, move things along. First category is Forest Fire Warden and Superintendent of the Fire Alarm. For a 1-year term, there are 3 appointees: James C. Broderick, the chief, fire chief; Mark Emery, his assistant; and James R. Merry, his assistant.
Do the motion.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Next category is for call firefighters. We have a fairly long list. So I'll read the names for call firefighters: Joseph R. Merry, Robert Serino, James Chadbourne, Ron Agrella, Charles Hazen Jr., Darcy Condelli, Jesse Warren, John Condelli, Justin Graham, Donald Dupre, Matthew Harney, Matthew Ross, Timothy Shirley, Patrick McManus, Vincent Gondezi, Mark Winfrey, Evan Fish, Christopher Cassidy, Joshua Simpson, Brian Scully, and Robert O'Leary.
Make the motion. I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Next one is for Fire Chaplain, Robert M.J. Hagopian.
Give you the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Any seconds?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Next one is for the Northern Essex Regional Emergency Planning Committee.
We have two names to write in on that,
We
Mr.
do?
Chairman. The chairman of the Board of Selectmen
Oh, okay,
and the vice chairman.
okay, me and you, okay. All right, so the names are James Broderick, Fire Chief, Emergency Management Director, Scott Dumas, Police Chief, Patrick Snow, Highway Surveyor, Deborah Egan, Town Administrator, Brianne Walsh, COA Director, Chairman of the Board of Selectmen, Cliff Pierce, Vice Chairman of the Board of Selectmen, Joe Perry, Matthew Brown, Light Plant Manager, Frank Marchigiani, Health Agent, and Bill Demento, Harbor Master.
Make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Next category is Rowley Emergency Management Agency.
Two names again.
Okay, yeah, thanks for pointing that out. The names are James Broderick, Fire Chief, Emergency Management Director, Scott Dumas, Police Chief, Chairman of the Board of Selectmen, Cliff Pierce, Vice Chairman of the Board of Selectmen, Joe Perry, Brianne Walsh, COA Director, Patrick Snow, Highway Surveyor, Frank Marchigiani, Health Agent, Deborah Egan, Town Administrator, Matt Brown, Light Plant Manager.
Make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, next on the agenda is a budget transfer. It's a request from the town administrator to transfer funds from litigation to pay the selectmen's, to transfer funds from litigation to selectmen's expense to pay for the Merrimack Valley Planning Commission pictometry program. So we have enough money in litigation, Debbie?
Oh, yes, we do.
And
This
the
was
amount-
just sent over by the conservation agent. This is the town's balance for the pictometry program for that second flyover, $4,868, and it's due in FY '19. And this is a program that's used by a number of departments.
So there's
Aerial
also-
mapping software program put together by MVPC.
And there's also $400 for town meeting?
Yeah, so we had a little bit, cost of town meeting exceeded what we requested in that transfer in that article. So, we have the funds in another of our budget lines, so I'm asking to move it under 4433 BB.
Okay, so the total amount to be transferred is $5,268. Can I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Next is the minutes for May 13, 2019. We were all present except for Deanna.
Make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to accept them.
Second.
Motion to approve the minutes has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, announcements. We have vacancies. 2 vacancies on the Conservation Commission, 1 vacancy on the Zoning Board of Appeals associate seat, 1 vacancy on the Raleigh Municipal Light Board, and several vacancies on the Raleigh Cultural Council.
Can I make a comment on that?
Certainly.
That the funds that the council receives, I believe it's from the state,
Yes, state grant.
is based on people participating on that cultural council, and they do need a certain number of people to have a quorum for that board, and so we want to ask people to volunteer to serve, so that we can continue their work on the, providing
Yeah, entities and organizations will send in grant applications. One example is the library, for things like free, maybe the museum passes or things. There are some things that meet the criteria of what the state is saying falls under that. So that group reviews the applications and awards the grants, which is the state fund.
And COA uses it too.
I think the COA, the library, but other organizations have applied and received funds.
I believe if we don't have enough members, the state won't. We need a certain number of members for the state to reimburse us.
Right.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know how many vacancies there
Well,
are.
there's been Mimi's been the point of contact on that.
Yeah, I don't recall the number.
Yeah, I
At
think
least
it's
a
a
couple, I
pretty high
believe.
number of members.
And we need people, because otherwise we're gonna lose out on those funds. And it's a shame
We
to
did,
lose them
yeah.
because we don't have enough people on the board. It's not a difficult thing.
So how many people do you need?
I think we need 2, if I remember right from seeing some. I mean, we need like 10 or 8 altogether, but I think there's
Certain
two
money
people
each.
resigned during the year.
Yeah.
Bernie?
stepping up.
So what happens when you raise your hand? Okay, well, your motion to approve, Bernie?
There's a
How
cost to
frequent-
that,
how
Bernie, of
frequent- how-
$100 to join, so we'll have to
How
check it.
frequently does the council meet?
I think they meet
And what,
Three times.
once a month or 3 times a year or so. It's very seldom, they more or less, I think they meet when they need to approve people to put in things. I don't think they have a regular meeting schedule, but I could be wrong on that, I'm not sure.
Okay,
Not a big time commitment.
Probably Brianne Walsh.
motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn has been made and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
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 All opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you very much.